What's up, beautiful people? It's your boy, Coach Ricardo Miller, and I am excited to be live on Facebook on this Saturday afternoon. Man, wherever you are, you're going to need to pay attention to this conversation today. It's going to be very helpful for those of you that are desiring to live your best life now. Okay, it's going to be very, very important that you dive into what I'm sharing and then you decide to own it. You got to decide to own this. You got to decide to own it. So do me a favor. Please share and invite someone to hear what we're about to talk about. I have the one and only, a good friend of mine. We've known each other for years now, Bishop Dr. Benjamin Manu. God bless you, man.
Man, bless you. God bless you, man. It's nice to be here with you, man. You are
Hey,
doing a great work. I'm telling you. I've been blessed. I come and hide on it and listen and make notes and
yeah.
I've been really blessed by it. Anytime I come here, I take my pen and man, I key into it.
Well, it is a light. I see Jason Baston is watching all the way there in Canada. Jason, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining us. I am with Dr. Benjamin Manu. Listen, man, you've got to tell people a little bit about yourself. Obviously, you have an accent. I have an accent. And those of you that are listening that don't have an accent like us, my accent is from the Bahamas, okay?
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna provide you with information that's going to challenge you to grow and glow. Okay, that's really what it's all about: challenging you to grow and glow. You want to become the best version of yourself. Okay, learning to embrace you. So, Dr. Manu, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born and raised in Ghana. I went to school in Russia, and then I came to Bible school in the US.
Yeah.
So I lived in Ghana when I was a kid, and I grew up there. I got born again there, and then I left and went to the Soviet Union for medical school, and then from there I came to the US. I've been here over 20 years, and I am I'm a mixture of everything.
Yeah.
And I've traveled the world and trained leaders
Yeah.
for the past 25 years plus, and it is it's been a beautiful journey.
Well, listen, Ghana, Russia, now the United States,
Yes,
the
sir.
man who has lived in three countries and has traveled countries all around the world. It is my delight to have you, man. I know years ago when you were busy doing your thing here in the Dallas Fort Worth
Yes,
area,
sir.
we had a number of chances to connect. And I said, you know what? I want Dr. Benjamin to come on and share with our viewing audience, because one of the things that I'm on a mission now. You knew me from my children's ministry days.
Yes. Long time ago. Yeah,
Yeah,
long.
and so now I'm pushing effective living. I'm
Yes,
trying
sir.
to get people to tap into understanding there's a right way and a wrong way to live. I
Yes,
was
sir.
scrolling down your Facebook page and you were helping them in Africa. You say, hey, listen, Africans, you're gonna have to get it right.
That's right.
That religious spirit is not gonna be enough.
It's not going to be enough.
Oh
With,
my goodness.
one of the things that the church has done in Africa, we have raised a lot of spiritual people who are not relevant in
Hold on, hold
society.
on, hold on, hold on. You said we have raised a lot of spiritual people who are irrelevant.
Yeah,
They
who are
don't
not
get it.
relevant in society because we have not empowered them. We have not empowered
Wow.
them to
Wow.
become who God called them to become. So
Yep.
we have a lot of churches, but we are one of the poorest people on the continent, but very gifted people.
Yep.
So God gave me a mission of transformation of Africa.
Yep.
So I'm on a mission to transform, to raise 1 million leaders, kingdom giants in every African country.
Wow.
So,
Let me ask you this. We're gonna plug into this because both you and I, we have a strong background with in our faith. We have a
yes,
strong background, but yet you said something just now that there are a lot of churches in Africa,
yes, sir.
but unfortunately there is not a lot of development in Africa. Let's
That's
talk
right.
about that for a minute before we dive into our
Well,
subject.
the church is the breathing ground for raising up kingdom leaders,
Uh-huh.
sons of God who are kingdom leaders, who are who are kings and deliverers in their field of influence.
Yep.
The church is the platform for raising up kingdom leaders.
Yeah.
Because every believer is called to be a leader in their sphere of influence.
Every believer is supposed to be a leader, but not all are leaders. They're not
all are leaders. They got to be leaders. But the church must be, the church is the biggest training platform of raising up relevant people.
Wow. Yeah.
Who are leaders in the sphere of influence.
Yes.
So when the church is not affecting society, it is not relevant. It is not.
Hold on. Listen, you dropping so many bombs. When the church is not affecting society, it's not relevant. Now, here's the deal. There are a lot of people who are watching us, and they have gotten involved in church, in the building, being a part of a congregation.
Yes, sir.
But they're not becoming leaders to influence change.
Yes, sir.
Anywhere. Let's talk about that, because obviously people see the hundreds of thousands of people that would gather at crusades in Africa, and churches popping up all over the place.
Yes,
Even
sir.
here in the United States, there are more churches in poor neighborhoods than there are in highly influenced neighborhood. Talk to us.
Well, the presence of a church is supposed to bring transformation to everything in the society. I want to say it again. The presence of a church is supposed to bring transformation to every society by raising up spiritual people and mental people, people who are built all around. So when you can tell the quality of church in the community by the quality of community that the church is in.
Hold on. I so love that. Listen, did you hear that just now? You can tell the quality of a church based on the quality of the people in the community that is around.
That's right.
The church's job is to impact a community. The church's job is to impact a region, impact the nation.
That's right.
Why is that not the case, though? Because the vast majority of churches are just having a religious experience in the earth, but they're not making an impact in the earth. Why do you think is that?
Well, one of the greatest curses is to live for yourself. We are not called to live for ourselves. We are called to live for others. So that we are called to become problem solvers. So whilst we are living for others, our needs are met. That's how God designed life to be. So what you carry, what I carry and what you carry is not for us. What we carry is for humanity. It's for the nation.
Yes.
So when the church develops us and empowers us, the church is more than a place where you go and sing and jump and dance. The church is a place where you are empowered. Mentally, psychologically, in your gift, in your craft, in your potential, so that you become all that God has called you to become, so that you can impact your society, you can impact your sphere of influence. So every believer has a sphere of influence they must impact.
Yes. So everybody has a sphere of influence. And now y'all listening to me, ladies and gentlemen. I see 242 is represented really well. Quentin Paceni, good to see you. Now, what I'm hearing here is that everybody has something to offer, and the church's responsibility is to be leading the way in helping people to develop themselves for impact.
That's right.
The church's job is to help develop believers to go out and impact, where he says, come follow me and I will make you.
I will make you fishers. I'll make you. So there is no poor neighborhood and there's no rich neighborhood. There's only people who are not developed and people who are developed.
Hold on. There's no poor neighborhood. No. There are just underdeveloped people, and there are developed people.
When mentally poor people move into a neighborhood, they make the neighborhood a poor neighborhood. When spiritually and mentally rich people move into a neighborhood, they turn a neighborhood into a rich neighborhood. So there is no poor nation or rich nation. There's only people in the neighborhood who are not developed mentally, developing their gift, developing their craft, developing their skill, who are there.
I know what you're saying, because whenever a developed, a well-developed mind group, a developed mindset of individuals move into a lower income area, after a while that area becomes an influential area.
That's right.
But as well, whenever an influential area has low-minded people
Yes, sir.
move into an area, that area loses value.
It loses value. They move. The rich move out from that neighborhood.
The rich moves out from that neighborhood.
That's right.
Because obviously they're realizing there are not like-minded people coming
That's
in.
right.
And they want to stay with like-minded people.
So you can go ahead.
So this responsibility for each of us, knowing that we have something to offer for impact, not just for selfish benefits or reason. Right. It's not about me. It's about the purpose of my existence in the earth. I am here to bring value to humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, did y'all hear that? I am here. You are here to bring value to humanity.
That's right.
Why isn't it that we see more of that happening, though? Because we're having more poor neighborhoods being sprung up. Meaning there are a number of areas. I know when I visit the Bahamas, I get to travel around the world. I'm noticing there are neighborhoods which was once good neighborhoods.
Yeah.
But even those neighborhoods sometimes find themselves going down. And I'm noticing there are flights. They call it flights, where different highly developed people move out. And then there's this major dive in the quality of certain neighborhoods. Talk to us.
Well, Jesus did not come to give us a religion. He came to give us a kingdom. And one of the greatest enemies of national development is a religious pastor. Every poverty is rooted in religion. And
every poverty is rooted in religion.
So, and Jesus came to give us a kingdom. Yes. In the kingdom, you raise sons who become deliverers, who become solution providers.
Yes.
In religion, you raise members who are just religious, they are religious. Yeah. They are church liabilities. They know Jesus, but they are never productive on earth.
So knowing Jesus, but not productive on earth. Not productive on earth. Go ahead.
So one of the things about it is that anytime there is more churches in the neighborhood loses value and the quality of life goes down, except the leaders that are leading the churches are kingdom leaders, are empowerment leaders, are Coach Ricardo Miller leaders. Yeah. But if they are just religious leaders, the very moment, the more churches that are built, the more poverty comes into that neighborhood.
Ooh, the more churches that are built in neighborhoods where the pastors are not kingdom-minded.
Yes.
That neighborhood have a tendency of going down.
Go down. They
I have noticed that, but if a kingdom-minded leader emerges, a kingdom-minded pastor, a kingdom-minded congregation, they have the potential to influence that community. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. Well, in the kingdom, you don't live for yourself. Yep. In the kingdom, you are sent on an assignment. Yep. You are sent to represent the king. Yes. But in religion, you are deployed to live for yourself. Yep. Religion is about yourself. Religion raises consumers, but the kingdom breeds solution providers. You know, yeah. Yes. In the kingdom, you are a solution to a problem on earth. Yes. But in religion, you are there to have a good feeling and just get a breakthrough and just go. You know, that is why religious people are very small in society. If you go to every nation, the religious people are very, very small in society. They are mediocre, they are rejected, they are low-income people. Why? Because they are egocentric people. They are consumers. But life is about contribution. In the kingdom.
So religious people, more religious people, you're saying, are consumers. They're not. They're not nation builders.
They are not nation builders. They don't add to society. Many of them do so. If you check the movement and shakers in society, almost all of them are not in church.
Wow. The vast majority of them are not in a kingdom-minded church.
No,
because obviously, if you're in a kingdom-minded church, you will be making impact.
You're making impact.
Changing territory. You will be raising the quality of where you are.
That's right.
So you're telling me it's impossible for light to go in a dark place and not light it up?
Yes, sir. When light goes into darkness and light does not disperse darkness, light is useless. Light is irrelevant. Light has lost its sense of identity. Light is not authentic. We are the light of the world. Yes. And we are supposed to be impacted and trained in the church and deployed to the world to make a difference.
Ooh, you have been placed here to go in the world and light it up.
That's right.
Listen, that's right. I need about 10 of you guys to just say light it up.
Light it up.
Now here's the deal, Bishop. Let me talk to you about this, Dr. Manu. there are people who have a problem with those who are in a smaller minority that are now wanting to shine. You commit to shining, but because there aren't a lot of kingdom-minded people, you get darts thrown at you. You get hate dispersed at you. The challenge is, I want to light it up, but where I came from, maybe the neighborhood I came from, maybe the family I came from, maybe the church I came from, they don't encourage you to shine. They encourage you to fit in. We're talking light it up.
Yes, sir.
Why do you think that we're being encouraged to walk in a dim manner? Why do you think we're being encouraged to not shine?
Well, when you are in an environment of consumers hate anybody rising. Consumers, because their mind is small, so it's like crabs in a bucket. You know, I'm not going to rise, so I don't want you to rise. You know, so anytime you God is changing your level, the number one deliverance you need is the deliverance from people.
Wow, deliverance from people, that's the number one deliverance you need if God is rising you up.
If you are not delivered from people's opinions, you can never rise among consumers. They will kill you, they will poison you, they will attack you, they will use all kinds of things to bring you down. They will spoil you on them. Why? Because their internal programming keeps them living for self. So when you want to change the level, you gotta be radical. You gotta be very radical.
You gotta be radical. Now, here's the problem though. I like the idea of being radical. Over the years, I've been pushing, and you know me over the years. I've been pushing.
Yes,
But even in me pushing, I feel the weight of people's opinions, and a lot of people, they struggle with fighting beyond the opinions of those around them. So when I say light it up, I was talking to a colleague today, and the colleague was reminding me, said, Ricardo, I believe that you were supposed to be shining brighter, and you're teaching people to shine bright, but I don't think you're maxing your light. The person said to me, I think you're a little bit timid to shine bright like you're supposed to. And he said, you're shining, but you could shine even brighter. And I'm here today to say that to you because I could see and know that there are moments I'm playing smaller than I need to play because there's a higher level to perform. But because of the environment I find myself in, sometimes I'm not shining as bright. So you say being radical. Talk to that person who need to burst out of their comfort zone and to embrace that concept of being radical.
Well, you gotta have a vision of your future in your mind, and then have things on paper. Change your friends, change your environment. Sometimes you gotta just move out of the neighborhood you are. Sometimes you have to just change the friends you are, and sometimes you just have to be radical, very very intense and deliberate. Otherwise, they're going to use words, they're going to use lies, they're going to use your past to bring you down. So wherever you are, if it is time for you to change levels, there are some friends you have to drop them and come back and pick them up. There are neighborhood, you just have to leave that neighborhood and change levels and come back later, because they will never let you rise. They'll fight you physically, they'll fight you spiritually.
I like it. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, you have to leave a neighborhood. Sometimes you got to leave a people. Sometimes you have to distance yourself from those who don't understand the role that you're about to play. I'm challenging you, light it up. Now,
light it up.
I want to talk to you. About this term of being authentic.
Yes, sir.
Be authentic. And I remember years ago when I was trying to find myself, I could remember wanting to preach like Bishop T.D. Jakes. I can remember wanting to teach like the late Dr. Miles Monroe. Every now and again, I could find myself overly leaning on trying to be like someone else, when the true value of me at my best is me being me.
That's right.
No one can beat me being me, but yet we live in a society that is so copy-centered. They're not found on walking that journey of knowing oneself. Talk to us about that.
Well, you in order to become yourself, you have to find the reason why you have to be yourself. You have to know why you have to be yourself. You can learn from people, but you got to be yourself. Because anything that is two, there's one is non-important. When you become a cheap duplicate, you lose your value. So you must ask yourself, what makes me me? What is my purpose? What is my passion? What can I do? What makes me angry? What can I do? What is my drive? And
Yes.
how do I do it better? How
Yes.
do I do it better so that you improve yourself and become a better version of yourself, and you learn from people but never become them. You become yours. Because when you open your mouth and you are speaking, you must be so original. You must be
Yes.
so authentic
Yes.
that people want to learn from you,
Yep.
and they cannot trace you to other people.
I like it. You said if two of us are the same, one of us are not necessary.
Yeah.
I like that. I have discovered, Dr. Manu, that over the years, that the more I embrace me, the more I rise.
Yes, sir.
The more I embrace me, the more I rise.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us about that, because here's the deal. Even though I'm embracing me, I'm still questioning me. There are times I question my accent. There are times I question my deficiencies, the areas where I'm not good. But I've discovered, and in this season, I've embraced it more. So I've grown more this year than I've grown probably in the last 10 years, because
Wow.
I've chosen to embrace me.
Yes, sir.
Every time I embrace me, I rise. Talk to
Mm.
us.
Well, when you embrace yourself, you embrace who God has made you to become, and then you are able to know your strength, you're able to know your weaknesses,
Yep.
and then your weaknesses helps you to become a better person, because
Yes.
your weaknesses help you to develop yourself more, because you are always becoming a better version of yourself by self-work, self-development,
Yep. Yep.
self-education. You are empowering yourself to become more of you. So you ask yourself, what are the first 1, 2, 3 things I am very good at?
Yes.
And then you practice your being yourself. You stand there in the mirror, you speak to yourself like you are speaking to a million people, and
Yep.
be yourself. Your
Yes.
accent makes you unique.
Wow. Yes.
Your accent makes you unique. Your
Yes.
weakness makes you unique.
Yes.
Your past makes you human. So it helps you to become who, because people are looking for people that they can relate to. They're not
Yes.
looking for angels. They are looking for human beings they can relate to.
Yep.
So when you are yourself and you embrace yourself and you know your strength and you know your weakness and you maximize your weakness,
Yep.
and to add to your strength,
Yep.
you become like a bird out of the nest. You must be
Unstoppable.
your best. You must be yourself.
Yes, you must be yourself. I like what you said, when you embrace your accent, when you
Yes, sir.
embrace your level of education, when you
That's right.
embrace your height, your width, when you embrace your style, when you embrace you, when you embrace you, the world gets what you're supposed to bring, more so
Yes, sir.
than being that of a copy. I
That's
heard
right.
you said it earlier. Being a copy lessens your value.
Your lessons, your value.
Yeah, it takes away from the original valuable person that you are.
Mm.
That copy is not what you were intended to be. But you said something as well. We can learn from someone else, but we
Yes,
should
sir.
never become someone
We should
else.
never become like them. That is why it is important. Sometimes you can read from other people, but your passion will set you apart from them. Your
Yes.
passion will be
Yes.
original.
Yep.
Because when people are listening to you, they are connecting more to your passion than
Yep.
they are connecting to what you are saying. And
Yes.
you can say an ordinary thing with so much intense passion
Yep.
that there's so much energy in passion.
Yep.
In passion, your passion is the one communicating to the people.
Yes.
So be yourself, be
Yes.
authentic.
I like it.
Yeah,
I
and be human.
I've been teaching something to my coaching clients.
Mm.
I teach a lot of principles and laws that brings us to a place of prominence and success through my coaching
Mm.
program. But I've discovered that the secret sauce, after you've discovered all of the appropriate principles, it's like after you've learned how to cook. Once you've learned how to cook that chicken based on the rules of cooking, turning on the stove, getting the oil, seasoning the chicken, they tell you what will make you stand out is you putting that special touch of you on that
Yeah,
bad boy. Yeah, yeah. They may suggest it on the ingredients as to how to cook it. They may give you an instruction, but you want masterpiece. If you want to be really celebrated, you need to
you
put a
spice it up.
little. That's special. Come
You
on.
spice it up.
You got to spice it up. You got to put you on it.
That's
You got to
right.
put you on it. And what
That's
I've
right.
been doing, Dr. Manu, what I've been doing lately is I've been putting me on
Mm,
it.
mm, mm,
How
mm.
important is it? Let's talk about that for a minute. A person owning what they bring to the market, owning what you bring to the market.
Well, what you put on it set you apart from the competition. So when you discover the recipe of what makes others, and you learn add to your knowledge,
Yep.
you must become your brand. You must become
Yep.
yourself. You must become that authentic person.
Yep.
There must be something about you that
Yep.
people want. Is different. If you listen to Bishop Jakes, it's get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. It is what set him apart.
Yes.
There
Yes.
must be something about you that set you apart from the
Yes.
other competition that
Yes.
make people identify with you
Yes.
in your own unique brand.
Yes.
So build a brand for your company, build a brand for yourself, but
Yes.
your brand must be so authentic that
Yes.
people cannot copy from it.
Wow, your brand must be so authentic that people come looking for you for it, because everybody know that's you. One of the incredible things we have is, you mentioned Bishop T.D. Jakes, that get ready, get ready, get ready. We know if you're from the Bahamas, you guys have known our general, Dr. Miles Monroe. His statements of truth is Miles Monroe. Nobody can ever be a Miles Monroe.
That's right.
Nobody. I mean, he is Miles Monroe. John Maxwell is John Maxwell. T.D. Jakes
right.
is T.D. Joel Osteen, you cannot beat Joel Osteen being Joel Osteen. There are people, however, trying to be someone else without understanding how much it is taken away from their true value. Let's continue to talk about that a little bit, because I want to push this authentic, and I've known you over the years, man. You continue to show up as to who you are, and I love it. I love it. I love it. And so there are people who lessen their value by bowing out and committing not to learn themselves, but unfortunately they give up the right to be something amazing because they're so caught up on copying rather than discovering.
Well, one of the reasons why people bow like that is lack of self-confidence and lack of self-love, and they don't see themselves as valuable to their world.
Wow.
In order to become have self-confidence and standing up for who you are, you got to be able to love yourself and know that you carry something the world needs. When you know that you carry something that the world needs, it builds that confidence in you.
Yes.
That, even your weakness does not stop you. It doesn't stop who you are. So you must know that there must be this self convincing yourself that I'm a solution to a problem on earth.
Wow.
I am needed. The world needs me. The world cannot be the same without me. When that light come on, it built an attitude in you that you cannot be stopped.
I know what you're talking about. I remember doing construction in the Bahamas. I remember sitting on the back of a truck. I can remember making $175 a week. Okay, I'm talking a week, $175 a week. I can remember sitting on the back of the truck doing construction and listening to Miles Monroe when he was building Kingdom Citizen. He was pushing us to become leaders. On the cassette tape, you remember cassette tapes?
Yes, sir.
I was listening to the cassette tape, and he talked about becoming a leader. And let me tell you something, my life started transforming because I started to hear the right message. You were born for a purpose. You were born to make a difference. Your existence is evidence that the world needs you.
The world needs you.
Woo! When you can own my mere existence is an indication that God has a plan for my life. The world needs what I have to offer. That's a strong statement. Now, how important is investing in yourself to become yourself?
Wow, this is a priceless question. When you know who you are, and you invest in yourself, increases your value. It increases your content. It increases your relevance in the marketplace, because when you open your mouth, people know that whether you have value, you have content or not. It is your content that brings transformation. It's your passion. So investing in yourself is the highest form of investment. I want to say that again. Investing into yourself is your greatest wealth, greatest value, greatest asset. Because the more value you add to yourself, the more demand you are in the marketplace. The more value you add to yourself, the more relevant you become. The more value you add to yourself, the greater possibility is to die beyond the grave. The more value you add to yourself, the more that many are blessed through you. The less value you add to yourself. That is why every great human, every great believer, every great leader, your greatest secret is self investment. You got to invest into yourself. You got to invest yourself. You
Wow.
got to.
I totally agree with you when you say, I mean, self-investment is critical for effective living. I've over the years, I've gone to meetings and they've been selling books and they sell cassettes and they sold CDs. I can remember going and signing up for conferences. Now I'm signing up for webinars. And there will be people who would think, oh, I don't think you should be signing up for a webinar. You shouldn't be signing up or buying that book. Well, the truth is, man, one book can give me a nugget that saves me 10 years.
That's right. That's right. Because when a leader reads a book, everybody reads the book with them.
Yep. So the reality of it is there are people who don't understand the acceleration growth factor that happens in a believer's life when you, Bishop, when you wrote a book, and you've written a number of books, when you wrote your last book, that book is not only a book you wrote for the week that you wrote it, the month that you wrote it, or the year that you wrote it. It is a collection of what you have learned over 30, 40 plus years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So all of that is packed in a book.
That's right.
And now someone can buy that book, read that book in a week, and discover what you learned in a lifetime.
In a lifetime. That is why I personally don't have respect for any leader who does not read, because there is no world changer who is not a reader.
Hold on. Somebody needs to write that down. There is no world changer who is not a reader. You have no respect for someone who is a leader who is not a reader. Come on.
Yeah. You cannot lead effectively unless you read effectively. You know, every uncommon person, whether in the business world or in ministry or any form of leadership or making any impact, the greatest secret is the quality of information he has. Because it's the information that brings transformation. If you know more, you become more. If you know less, you become less.
Oh, if you know more, you become more. If you know less, you become less. You says the quality of content.
Yes.
Now watch this. The greater the quality of content requires a greater level of investment.
That's right.
There are people who want more, but they don't want to make the greater investment for the greater content, which will bring them to a greater place. If you want to be great, beautiful people, you're going to have to make a great investment.
You got to make great investment. If you want to be great and you ignore books, you can't be great. You know, you can't be great.
If you want to be great, hold on, man. I got to catch up on it. If you want to be great and you ignore books, you can't be great.
You can't. You become a mockery.
Listen. Let's talk about this for a moment. Let's talk about this. The tiresomeness of carrying oneself for a while and not finding who you really are. It's tiresome.
Yes, sir.
To be someone you're not, but you have become that person, and that's who you've been for a while. So there are people who are who they are who they are, but it's not who they really are. So I tell people sometimes, Dr. Manu, that you are so much more than who you are right now.
Yes, sir.
Most of us don't realize we have been conditioned to be who we are up to this point. And if you got, like you just mentioned, if you got greater information, you could do greater things.
Yes, sir.
But because we have been somewhat taught, your parents might have told you, just go ahead and be an engineer. So you decided, my father was an engineer, I'm going to be an engineer. And so you are living a life that looks okay, but you're not alive. You have been faking it while you perceive to have been making it, but at the very core of your very existence, you don't feel life because you're not who you really are. Talk to us about the work that is going to be required for someone to unearth the greatness within. I mean, literally go in and literally maybe shake up some things.
Yes, sir.
To get to where they were destined to be.
Well, one of the most important questions that we got to ask ourselves, if you want to be relevant and be ourselves, and because it is more than just making money. It's more than just, because our success is connected to our purpose, and our purpose connected to our passion. And you must ask yourself the question: what do I love to do?
Yes.
What do I do without struggle? What makes me angry?
Yes.
What can I do without any struggle with it, to it, so, and then you sit down and ask yourself. I went to school to become a medical doctor. I studied in Bible school, and all I studied was a bunch of religion, But when I sat down and asked myself, what do I have the passion to do? And I realized that I am called to raise giants. I'm called to empower people. I'm going to develop. I'm going to transform nations. I'm going to transform continent. I have the grace to do that, And then, so I started developing myself in that area. So the question is that, what do I find fulfillment in? What do I love to do that will bring fulfillment to my? What do I see that make me angry? What do I what errors do I see that I feel like I am called to correct? You sit down, write them down. When you write them down, and then begin to find mentors in those areas, and then begin to listen to them. But one of the most important things is that we must make time for solitude. When we make time for solitude, it is easy for us to discover ourselves. Many people are so much involved in people that they have lost who they are. They don't even know who they are. So you got to find yourself before you can give yourself to the world.
Wow, you have to find yourself before you can give yourself to the world. I want you to write that down, guys. Hold that truth. You have to find yourself.
You got to find yourself
before you can give yourself to the world, and that's going to require work.
Yeah,
that's going to require work. That's a journey. Okay?
Yeah,
I've been teaching that effective living is a journey. It's not a destination.
Yes, sir.
You're becoming the person that you were destined to be.
Yes, sir.
You're becoming the person that you were destined to be. And the goal is every day you discover principles like listening to a live like this, reading a book, going to a webinar. I mean, literally enrolling in a course. But at the end of the day, we got to tap into the thing that makes us want to work and make work don't feel like work. You said something. You said something. There is something that will cause us to get up in the morning with pep in our step. Something that will cause us to work when others are sleeping. Something that will have us to go when others want to just shut down. There are very few people who have found their sweet spot. I'm talking about their sweet spot in life. Where I heard you when we came on, and I love this, man. When we came on earlier, you said, just bring it. Just bring it. I was like, there's a man who knows what he brings to the world. He said, turn on the mic. Turn on the camera, just bring it. I know my lane. I know my message. I've discovered my sweet spot. Turn the cameras on, unmute the mic, throw the questions out at me.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us, those who are watching, that element of finding that place of this is who I am.
When you discover what turns you on, what makes you excited, what you feel you're called to correct, what your purpose is, what your passion is. You don't need a vacation. You don't. Life becomes you don't get tired of working. Tiredness at work is a sign of you are doing the wrong thing. There's always you are always in tune. You're always in sync. Something is always working. You when you come around me, you got to develop something. Got to work in you. Why you got the giant in you must come out because my children get tired of me because I just keep pumping them. I'm on them. Why? Because naturally, what I know, I want them to know it, and it comes naturally. I do interviews. I do preaching. I don't even know how to prepare messages. Why? Because when I stand there, I feel them. When I feel them, I get it. It's like prophetic. So it is important to discover who you are. What you love to do, what you feel you are called to do, and then become so good at it that you cannot be ignored. You got to become so good at it that you cannot be ignored. You got to become so good at it that the world cannot ignore you. If they have ignored you, they are missing something great.
Hey, if you're being ignored, it's clearly you're not making a mark significant enough for attention. Okay, if you're being ignored, you're not making a mark significant enough for attention. Attention comes from distinction.
Yes, sir.
The more distinguished you are, the more attention you'll get.
Wow.
That requires work. That requires you to commit. I like what you said. Be so good at what you do that you cannot be ignored.
That's right.
Now, watch this. There are people who are watching us, Dr. Manu, who would say, there are people aren't supporting my business. They're not buying my product. But what you're saying here is keep sharpening the saw.
Yeah,
Keep
you got to
getting
keep
better.
sharpening.
Keep showing up every day.
Yes,
Keep
sir.
learning how to grow and glow. Keep
Yes, sir.
learning how to grow and glow. Because if you become so good that they can't ignore you, eventually they'll have to commit to buying your services.
That's right.
Talk to us about that.
Well, there is always a time, in the season of life, there's always a time. The beginning process of everything takes time. That is why you got to have self-confidence and believe that you carry something the world needs.
Yeah.
And then, but there will come a time when the demand on you can be so big that you don't even know how to service it. That is why your preparation stage, you must enjoy. You
Yes.
must enjoy. At that time, people ignore you.
Yes.
They don't care much about you. They don't even care much about what you carry, although they need you. But they'll get to a time.
Yeah.
And there was a kairos time when everything begins to work in your favor.
Come on.
Everything begins to work. The demand on your books, the demand on your life, it will be so big that you can't even service everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
let me say this. Let me say this. I have to say this because this is a word for someone. You said honor the preparation time, because there are people who it's not happening for them yet, but they don't understand there's a process of development. There's a process of development where you have to invest in you. You got to put in that work. You won the gold medal to the Olympics. You won that gold medal to the Olympics. Well, guess what? You got to be training when no one's watching. Come on. You got to be developing when nobody cares. You got to be giving attention when there is no cheering, but you're putting in the work. You're putting in the work to be the best at who you could be. And when you commit to showing up every day, learning how to develop yourself so that when the opportunity presents itself appropriately, you would have prepared. The learning season or the growing season or the investing season, don't take it for granted. The season where the light is not on you. Talk to us about that, the importance of honoring the season when no one is watching, but you need to be developing.
Well, the best season of your life is the development season, because that is the time that...
Hold on. Y'all can tell I'm enjoying this. The best season of your life is your development season.
Yes.
I gotta say, the best season of your life is the development. I love that so much. But here's the deal. Why I had to jump in there. If you get to your season and you're not prepared, that season can ruin you because you did not do the appropriate work to get there. But it was, watch this, it was destined for you, but you didn't prepare yourself appropriately for it, and it showed up. And now you got a problem because you did not put in the work. So go back, Dr. Manu, honoring the process season.
The greatest regret in life is when opportunities show up and you're not prepared. The greatest self-inflicted wound is when opportunities prepare themselves, because opportunities don't announce itself. It shows up, and when you're not prepared, you miss it. And the greatest advantage in life is when preparation meets opportunity. That is why you in the preparation stage, you got to take advantage of it. You got to take advantage of it, overdo it, empower yourself, develop your mind, develop your craft, sharpen your sword, read more, pray more, love more, and then because suddenly the doors are going to open suddenly, and when the doors start opening, if you're not prepared, the demand will be so much on you that you embarrass yourself. So you must use the preparation stage time very effectively on yourself. You must spend hours a day on yourself, empowering yourself to become so good at it that you can even close your eyes and be able to deliver.
You got to honor the preparation season. You said be so committed to honoring the preparation season. When you open your mouth, when you have prepared yourself, it will be like, where was he? Where was she? Well, he or she was preparing. I like what you said. Let's go for a biblical story. David shows up. And David says, hey, there's a problem. What's going on? There's a giant that needs to go down. I'll take him out. And they said, here's a sword. This is no time for David to learn how to use a sword. This is no time for him to learn how to use a shield. Yet there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity to take out a giant. What he was used to using, that he became highly skilled in using, became the thing that got him massive attention. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
When opportunity met preparation, his life, all those who are ahead of him, He overtook all of them.
Yeah.
You know, so when you always want to prepare because
You always want to prepare. I like that. Yes.
and dominate, and you got to be able to dominate that area of your calling.
Yes.
You must become a dominator in
Yes.
that area of your calling
Yeah.
to the point where you cannot be ignored.
Yes.
When you can be ignored, it's a sign that you're not prepared enough yet. But you are just still in the process. You are
Yes.
just still in the process. But when the time happens and the door opens and you
Yeah.
permit opportunity, that is when people will personally buy you a private jet because
Yeah. Yes.
you are
Yes.
too
Yeah.
important. You are
Hey,
too
hey,
important.
Dr. Manu, you talking to me today, man.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Hey.
You become too important that nations need you,
Yeah.
presidents need you, they need you on a private jet, they will
Yeah.
pay any amount of money to have you. Why? And you tell them that you have been preparing for a long time,
Yeah.
but the preparation stage is right now,
Yeah.
opportunity is right now because you want to be a problem solver in
Yes.
that area of your gifting.
Yeah.
The goal of your development is to become a master of your craft and a problem solver on the face of the earth.
Wow, you want to become a problem solver. Okay? And that means you got to put in the work to become a master
You
at
gotta
your
be a
craft.
master of it.
Woohoo!
You gotta be a
I'm
master of
becoming
it.
a master at my craft. They say
Yeah,
the bookings are down, the money ain't coming in, but that's okay. Keep
yeah,
sharpening and developing yourself. For when your moment comes, that's not the time to prepare.
that's right. So the secret here is called the consistency.
Consistency.
The consistency.
Yes.
Anybody that is consistent
Yes.
doesn't even have to be too good. He will explode.
Yes.
When you are consistent,
Yes.
you explode.
Woo!
Consistency. A lot
Yeah.
of people don't they can start, but they can't finish.
Oh, they
Because
can stop, but they can't finish. Go ahead.
they can in the beginning, nobody believes in you. You gotta believe in yourself.
Yes.
But when you're consistent,
Yeah.
God has a way of divinely connecting you
Yeah.
to the right people. And one person who knows one person, all of a sudden, boom, all of a sudden the whole world will start demanding what you
Yes.
carry. You know.
Yes. Yes. Hey, I know what you're talking about, man. Hey, listen, I've been at this thing for 24 years. I've been at
Wow.
this thing for 24 years. I remember in children's ministry, I remember I couldn't get a seat in the room.
Mm.
And then after a while, I found myself owning the room.
Wow.
Okay. I can remember I couldn't pick up the phone and call one person. And
Mm.
then I saw where God strategically positioned me up where I could call anybody in the space of children's ministry.
Wow.
I was able to contact anybody in that particular space. The effective living platform has only been developed for a year now. I mean,
Wow.
about a year and 6 months we're going in. And one of the things that I know is I understand the power of consistency.
That's
I
right.
understand the importance of developing myself when nobody's looking.
That's right.
I understand the commitment that one must put in and the price one must pay. There
That's
are
right.
people who are listening to us right now. They feel inspired to do something, and they have been getting tired. Talk to that person who this message resonates with them, but they right on that last leg of throwing in the towel. They're
All
like,
tiredness. Sometimes when we get tired and get discouraged, when things are not working, we look at ourselves, we look at the effort we place in, we put in, and we start looking down upon ourselves and
yeah,
start telling ourselves all kinds of funny stories.
yeah,
But that is the time when you need association. That is the time that you got to tell yourself that I am a breakthrough going somewhere to happen. I carry what the world needs. I'm relevant to my world. All it takes is a matter of time. I may be struggling to pay my bills now.
yeah,
I may be struggling in some areas of my life, but this is not going to be forever. And
yes.
so there are times you got to just go to the bathroom and just talk to yourself.
Talk to
You know,
yourself. Yeah,
you talk to yourself or find people that inspire you. Listen to them.
yes,
Sometimes when I get tired, and I'll get tired, and I'll just find people that I listen to, and
yeah.
then boom, I get
Boom.
inspired.
Yes,
One
yeah,
time I was in far away in Ghana, in some town. I was preaching, and a guy came there was doing children's ministry, and he was talking about Ricardo Miller, Ricardo Miller, Ricardo Miller. I said, I know him.
You in Ghana, and somebody said, Ricardo Miller, you told him, man, I know him.
I said, I know him, man. The guy was using as a point of reference.
Yeah,
He was quoting your quotes,
yes, yes,
you know. And I said, oh man, I know Ricardo, man. So,
Hey, it's amazing. You said something. We're gonna bring this in on this. You said something I want us to go back to is the need to be real because we have something to offer.
You have said it.
The need to be real, the need to own oneself, to love oneself, to make
Yes,
that investment. We have something to offer. I want this video, I want this recording, I want this message to connect with everyone who simply is still drifting, because there are so many people that's just drifting. Life
yeah.
has no meaning for them. They're just always, thank God it's Friday. They're dreading Monday. They can't believe it's another Monday. I just like every day. I love every day, and
Well, because you make an impact.
yeah. Talk.
The most boring life is living for yourself. The most boring life is affecting people. The most fulfilling life is when you are solving problems,
Yes.
when you are adding value, when you are contributing, when you are distributing, when you are giving, when you are
Yeah.
impacting. There's so much fulfillment that comes in. But when you live for yourself, discouragement cannot be inevitable. So life is about contribution. Life is about adding value. Life is about making impact. Life is about touching others.
Yes.
And the more lives you touch, the better the better leader you become, and the more wealthy you become, and the more successful you become.
Yeah.
Because a great leader serves other people.
A great leader serve other people. Life is about making a contribution.
Contribution.
And that's really what we're doing right now, ladies and gentlemen. We took some time out on this Saturday. I need you to do me a favor. Tag somebody that you believe needs to hear this message, because we're talking about being authentic. We're talking about making the investment and learning yourself, and then doing the work so that you can find that place of mastery. I heard Dr. Manu said, dominate. There are so few believers that are dominating right now. Let's dive back into that a moment. Why do you think that there isn't as much? 10 years ago, as a matter of fact, 20 years ago, when you travel the world, there were giants of men and women. Literally coming in, the Ryan Hart Bunkies
Yes, sir.
of the world, the Morris Cirillos, and there were business leaders, and there were, just doing phenomenal things. But to me, I don't see as much of that dominating voice crying out to those who need to be birthed, because someone needs to say lead. Because had Miles Monroe not recorded a cassette that says "Born to Lead," I don't know if I would have been where I am today. But
Wow.
when I heard the message, "You were born to lead," and I embraced the message, today I want you to challenge that person. Dominate. You're born to lead. Don't be afraid. Make the investment.
Well, the one of the things that make people not be able to be relevant and stand out in life is that when they become everything. You know, when you live life becoming everything, you lose
Yeah.
value.
Yeah.
You are not going to be everything.
So you said becoming everything.
Becoming everything is losing value.
Yes.
But discovering your area and
Yeah.
dominating that area
Yeah.
makes you stand out.
Yes.
A lot of people are jack of all trade,
Trade.
and
Yeah.
it's one of the dangerous things to do in life. Is that your life is just being wasted away.
Yeah.
Why? Because nobody's called to do everything. You
Yes.
know, I don't have the passion for children.
Right.
To
Right.
teach them.
Right.
I want you to. I want to talk and you get it, and we just
Yes.
move on.
Yes.
So I admire Ricardo when he used to do. I said, man, how does he do it? How do you do
Yeah.
it?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it is not because God doesn't place that in me.
Yeah.
So discover your niche, stay
Yeah.
there, master it, dominate it,
Yeah.
become so good at it. Don't become religious. Don't
Yes.
become religious. Don't become religious because your influence is needed in the marketplace.
Yeah.
It's needed in the corporate world.
Yeah.
So if you are religious, some doors will close to you. But when you are kingdom, you are relevant. You are
Yeah.
like yeast. You enter before they realize that you are a man of God, a woman of God. You are already making impact.
Yes. Yes.
So the secret of people not becoming extraordinary people is they become a jack of all trade. They are jack of
Yes.
all trade. They
Yes.
do this today, they get this job tomorrow, they
Yeah.
get this job tomorrow, they do
Yeah.
this tomorrow.
Yeah.
When you do that, you cannot grow.
Wow.
Stay in your passion,
Yes.
work for your passion,
Yeah.
develop your passion,
Yeah.
and dominate your passion and
Yes.
dominate the marketplace.
Dominate the marketplace by finding your passion,
Yes, sir.
finding your niche. 24 plus years ago, I remember when I said I'm going to lock in on children's ministry.
Mm.
And I remember telling my mother, I said, I'm going to do this for about 5 years and see if this thing worked. And because I locked in on children's ministry in 5 years, I became a national voice in
Yes,
children's ministry.
global voice.
In 20 years, global voice, right? And so
Yes.
I
Yes.
like what you said there. For those of you that are watching, identify your niche, your distinct service that you bring to humanity. Don't
Yes,
be a master of all
oh, yeah.
trades.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you lose value when you
You
try
lose
to be
value.
everything.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes, sir.
lose value when you try to be everything.
Yes, sir.
Mastery is the way forward.
It's the way forward.
Oh,
Because the goal in our lives, that the first 3% in the world, you must be part of it. You must be so good at what you're doing that when they call the first 3%, that should be the target. The first 3% of the best in that field of calling, that they cannot ignore you. You know, so you work hard, you go to school, you empower yourself, you're reading more, you are praying more, you are spending time alone. You know why? The goal is that you must become the top 3%. You must be part of the top 3%, and because those are the movers and shakers of the world.
In closing, Dr. Manu, there are people who have dismissed the fact that they could still do something with the time left in this year, and they're now just saying next year is going to be their year. When the reality of it is, you still got roughly 6-7 weeks left in this year. Let's close this out and remind those people: don't wait for next year to dominate. You could still do something so significantly that you can make a way in 5-6 weeks that could not have been properly done in 3 to 9 months. And so I believe, I teach them, someone is going to walk out of 2020 with all that they're supposed to get out of 2020.
Yes.
Someone is going to crush it. Literally, they're going to excel because they made it a demand on their potential to extract the goal or the value out of 2020. 2020 has been a very challenging year for a lot of people. That's an understatement. However, there are some people who understand I'm fighting for all that's mine in this year. Close us out today and remind those you still got time to make something happen out of the rest of this time.
Well, every one of us has time to the last. I'm not even looking at the months. The last few weeks that are left to maximize it. You start now. Never procrastinate. Never give excuses. Start now. Draw a plan of action. Start now. And then allow your failures, allow your disappointment to push you harder. You know, anytime you come under an attack or it reminds you of the past failures, it must push you harder. That's what how much mean. When I'm hit hard, when I fail harder, I push myself harder and tell myself that I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it now, and have principles in place. Never live life saying that God is going to do it, because God won't do it. Never live life and say God is going to do it, because God has already finished you before He started you.
Wow.
You know, so you got to develop principles and do it now. And the greatest asset of every man or woman is your time. You are utilizing your 24 hours. You are utilizing it. You are not abusing your time. And then every single day, before you put your head on the pillow, you ask yourself the question: what have I done that is going to draw me closer to where I am supposed to be going? You know, so don't live a balloon life and so, okay, God is gonna do it. I believe God. No. Yes, God has already finished it. You know, if you live a life on miracles and breakthroughs, your life is gonna be wasted. Live a life on principles, on laws, on procedures, and then you are living intentionally. Intentional living. That today, the 8 hours may not be for me, but after the 8 hours, I got to be able to seize the moment and utilize the time, and to be able to build my dreams and my vision. And the dream and the vision must be something you are doing to empower humanity, to touch lives, and to make a difference.
That was my last question, but you said something there that caused me got to go back a little bit. You said miracles and deliverance, if that's what you're living on, you're going to be limited. Now, I know, and I want you to express some thoughts on this, because God never intended for us to live off of miracles and deliverance. Those are God's supernatural way of engaging Himself in humanity's affairs. But His goal was, as you mentioned, for us to learn how to use what he already gave us, because he made us and he says, go forward and be fruitful, multiply, and subdue.
That's right.
So share a little bit more on that, because there are people who are listening and I need them to capture this. Don't be religious. Be a fruit producer. The Bible says, herein is how my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit. Oh, man. Dr. Manu, you said something so much there. Break that down again for us.
Miracles and breakthroughs and the supernatural life is when all have failed.
Yes.
It is not the beginning of life. It's when you have put in your all effort and all have failed, and then God intervenes.
Yes.
But life is lived on principles.
Yes.
Life is predictable. Life is lived on principle. Why do the ungodly succeed and do very well in life? Why? Because there are laws and there are procedures and there are processes and there are principles they apply. They don't go to church. They don't speak in tongues. They don't roll on the floor. You know. But there are laws that they apply. They use time effectively. You know, so you don't need. I want to get in trouble here. You don't need God to succeed, but when you have God, you must be extraordinary.
Yes, yes. Come on. When you have God, you will be extraordinary, because you said something, and I know what you're saying.
I made a statement that you don't need God to succeed, because life, the principles work for an unbeliever, it works for a believer.
Yep.
The principles of life work for the principles in the life of your book work for anybody, whether a Muslim, whether a homosexual, whether a drunkard, whoever, a serial killer or terrorist, whoever takes your book, the principles will work for them.
Yes.
You understand? They don't even have to come to church.
Wow.
So when you are born again, you have the divine backing of God.
Yeah.
You know, so as a born again believer, you tell yourself that I cannot be a God carrier and be ordinary. I cannot.
Hold on. I cannot be a God carrier and be ordinary.
I cannot.
You need to write that down. I cannot be
a God carrier. I cannot be, you know, I cannot be the light. I cannot be the salt. I cannot be the yeast. And then unbelievers are doing better, and I'm a believer. So you got to be able to challenge yourself. You challenge yourself. You know, because if you are not angry where you are, you won't change your life. Wow. If you're not angry at the condition, nothing will change. Never stay on the past mistakes. The future is bigger. The future is better. You drive yourself, you push yourself, you believe in yourself, and you tell yourself that I am going to make it happen because Jesus has finished it.
Woo! Jesus have finished it. I am not going to settle. My best days are ahead of me. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Dr. Benjamin Manu, man. Thank you very much for joining us. Hey, listen, you wrote a couple of books lately. How can persons get your book, and how can they follow your platform or even capitalize on your service? How can they reach out to you?
Well, I want you to go and get, if you're watching us, I want you to get Effective Living by Dr. Ricardo Miller. Get it. If you're on the line, you have not gotten it yet, go and get it. Go and get it. You know, this book will change your life forever. Buy from your friends. The best, you know, one of the things that we colored people must do is read more. We as black people must read more. Buy for your friends who on your Christmas, they buy for them. Give it to them on your Christmas. And then you can get my books, you know, on ebooks on lulu.com, lulu.com or amazon.com. Dr. Benjamin Manu, Manu. You can get my books, get the books now, and write a review for us. Write a review for us.
Yes.
Write a review for us. So please go and get it. Get it now.
Ladies and gentlemen, get it. In the chat, we're going to put the link in the chat. Dr. Manu, we'll have you put some names of your books in the chat. Persons who are watching us, they can go back and order those books. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're trying to help you. I like what you said earlier, man. All persons that are in the world that are making an impact, they are readers, okay? You can't be a leader and not a reader and expect to make significant impact. So once again, thank you for joining me on today. This has been amazing. I've thoroughly enjoyed this, man. Let me tell you something. I've enjoyed this more for me, okay? So for those of you that are watching, y'all better make sure y'all go back and watch, take notes, tag somebody, invite someone in, and listen, you want your life impacted and changed forever? Get the book. The man has written a number of books. Let's go ahead. Let me say this too. You've been doing certain stuff with my good friends, Linda and Vito Patrick, in marriage. You got some marriage material. Your wife, you both, y'all have been helping marriages. There are maybe people watching. Talk to us a little bit about what you guys are doing in that area.
Well, marriage is one of the greatest attacks the enemy is attacking in this end time. So
Yep.
we empower marriages from singles, marriage, divorce, everything. You know, we deal with the backgrounds, we deal with the principles, and all of that.
Yep.
You know, so you can go to our platform, Dr. Benjamin Manu or
Yeah.
Benjamin Manu, and then there's a lot of things you can read about marriage. You
Yep.
know, so one of the areas God has just gifted me, just God just graced me with it. You know, is the area of marriage. So get it. And if you marriage is delayed, marriage is going through troubles, whatever you're going through, the greatest attack in marriages is the background. The greatest attack of marriage, the greatest attack of the great why was it that I forgot. The greatest attack of marriages is the background and the history. You know,
Yes.
so when you're going to marriage, you got to deal with the background and confront the history. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
so that the history does not fight. So please go there and get it. Go there and get it. And then if you have any question, please, we are
Reach
here.
out.
We are here for
Yep.
you. Yeah.
Excellent stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a beautiful conversation with Dr. Benjamin Manu. Listen, guys, every Saturday at 2 p.m., I'm dropping conversations with incredible leaders. Next week, you don't want to miss next week. It's going to be another great day. Also, for those of you that are interested in joining me on my private group chat, Monday to Thursday, all week, 6:30, I'm dropping content, helping to develop people inside of our group coaching. We got a group coaching thing going on now. So there are some changes that are coming to the platform the month of November and December, preparing us for 2021. We can end the year strong if we're intentional about what we do
That's
with
right.
the remaining time that has been given to us. Once again, thank you, Bishop Dr. Benjamin Manu.
Thank you. Thank you,
Blessings to you.
Apostle.